An African lady who once worked as a community support worker lost her job due to an avoidable mistake. Something that wouldn't take her up to 30 seconds cost her her job. So listen to this so that when next you go to work, you don't miss this, okay? Sometimes people think support work is very easy, but it's also very easy to make a mistake that will cost you your job. So this lady went to work on a good day. She supports a client, and that client was a 2-to-1 client, okay? 2-to-1 support. So they got to work, they took over from the night staff. The night staff told them that the client slept all night and at this moment he's still sleeping. So she thought that the client was still sleeping and the night staff left. According to her, she said she waited till around 10:30, 11, and she started becoming a bit worried because let's assume this client's name was Dave. Dave don't usually sleep up to this time. Normally, he will come out to ask for a cup of tea or breakfast or something like that. And so her instinct pushed her to go and check Dave in his room. On opening the door, she noticed that Dave wasn't on his bed. So she alerted her colleague. There and then, they thought it was a joke. They started looking from the room to the kitchen to the toilet, and they were just going over the place searching for Dave. But lo and behold, Dave was nowhere to be found. So then she peeped through the window and noticed that Dave's window was open. There and then she called her office. The office alerted the police and they started looking for Dave. They continued to look for this client from 11 o'clock when she noticed that he wasn't in his room. Both the police and her and the resident, everybody was panicking. And so the police started driving around, asking questions, trying to find out where exactly would he go to, where does he like to go to. So after a couple of hours, around 2 o'clock or 3, they found Dave wandering in the car park. So the police picked Dave, took him back to his house. There and then investigation started. So now they're asking them, you took over from this client, from the night staff. You did not go and check if actually Dave was in his room sleeping. You didn't know if you took over a dead client, a client that is invisible. You just sat down and both of you, because there were two, both of you sat down, continued doing what you were doing without even checking. So when you're taking over, you're supposed to open door and check, especially when you're working as a support worker, and make sure that the client you're taking over from was actually in their room. Okay, so this is how investigation started. One thing led to the other, and she was sacked. She was asked to resign. She has been working there for a while, so they assumed she was a good staff, so she was asked to resign. And that was how she resigned and lost that job and has to start again looking for another job. Her colleague was also asked to resign. Okay, so you know what it meant by a job that you have become so comfortable in. You're used to your client, you're used to your staff, and now you have to start looking for another job. So the good thing the company did for her was that they asked her to resign, not sacking her. Because assuming they sacked her, that is to say, it will be difficult for her to get a reference from that company. So when you go to work, whether you're working in a nursing home or you're working as a support worker, don't always take oral handover, okay? Always make sure that the client you're taking over from the previous staff, that the client is actually present within the house, within the compound. Okay, just wanted to share this. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share this video. Bye.